Hey everybody, this is HazaRDReborN and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. In this video I'll be detailing all the missions for Warframe. They're pretty much divided into normal missions, alert missions, void missions and operations. To start with a list on the normal missions, just so you can get a small idea of how many they are, we have Exterminate, Sabotage, Capture, Mobile Defense, Defense, Survival, Spy, Rescue, Deception and Assassination missions. And as of patch 12 we also have the Interception missions, which are brand new ones. And there is also a secret mission, not sure exactly how to call it, which I'll get into later as well, adding up to a total of 12 different types of missions. After the normal missions, the most common missions are the alerts up here at the top left. Usually from my experience, the alert missions include all the different mission types from normal missions. They're just randomized. Moving on from there, the next form of common missions after the normal missions and the alert missions are the void missions, which you get keys for. They don't include all the normal missions. They have captures, exterminate, defense, mobile defense and survival. And moving on to the derelict voids, we have pretty much the same template again, plus one more, which is the assassinate mission for the Orokin derelict missions. And lastly we have the operations, which include two types. They are infestations and invasions. I'm just gonna head right into the game now and show you the missions one by one and what their parameters are, objectives and conditions of play. Starting from the first planet, Mercury, which is the easiest, so I can show this rather effortlessly.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Starting from the first mission that you are actually introduced to, the Exterminate mission, it's a pretty straightforward objective. You have a certain amount of enemies and you have to kill them all. Once you have killed them, then you can extract and leave the mission. There's nothing much more to it other than just killing your foes. For the new heads-up display, our mission objectives to the top left show us how many enemies we have killed from the total amount which were initially in the mission. In this case there's 39 enemies I have to kill and I have just killed my first enemy. And I think I'll just stealth kill a couple of them just for fun. Keep in mind also, in all missions you start undetected, which makes stealth killing much easier even when you're not invisible. And once the enemies have detected you, they run to these little consoles over here, control consoles, and they pretty much phone in, or they alert your presence into, so the rest of the enemies can be aware of you, making stealth much more difficult since they are all aware. The next thing that can happen in your missions to keep in mind is, from time to time, again they run to those little consoles over there once they have already alerted you, and they can lock down a specific area and lock you inside of it. In those cases you simply have to go up to one of those data consoles and hack into it to release the locks on the doors so you can continue on to the mission. That didn't work out. Not great.
Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you.
As you notice, the Lotus just said it herself. No one has seen me yet. They will see me now, just so I can show you the whole hacking process as well, which is common in all missions, more or less. So once they see me, there they go. They're running, they're running, they're running. One of them is going to run to the console. No. Usually someone runs to the control console. Well, I think I should make my presence a little bit more obvious. Hey there. That's pretty. This has never happened to me before, to be honest. They're usually alerted quite easily. Come on, dude. Okay, whatever. Okay. So he's seen me. Hopefully now he will run. Or one of them will run. There you go, they run into the console. And they should all be alerted now. Meaning that none of them will be standing around like they were before. They're all in fighting positions and make stealth killing much more difficult as well. They're aware of your location, and ducking doesn't apply to stealth anymore. Let's see if they can block the room up as well. Just so I can show the hacking what it's like.
You've been seen. Ready your weapon.
Okay, I guess the other gate didn't alert anything. Now I've been alerted. They have been alerted. Can somebody please lock me in? Only 3 enemies left. 2 enemies left now. I really wish they'd lock me out. Oh, we have enough missions to show what that's like later on. Once you have killed all of them, you'll notice on the map the green extraction point. The Lotus will also notify you. And that's pretty much all there is to the Exterminate missions.
Another job well executed.
Heading over to the next mission as they are revealed in the game, we have the Sabotage.
The Grineer have been harvesting a nearby planetoid for weapons-grade material. Locate and destroy their mining.
Basically in Sabotage we have certain objectives that we have to destroy. In the case of the Grineer, they're usually machinery that they have, or weaponry. Same conditions apply as they do in Exterminate. And you have to destroy their machinery. In corpus stages, usually there is like a fusion core or some kind of generator, and you have to destroy that in order for the mission to be complete. It's pretty much the same thing, it's just a little different according to the stages. On your map you have You have the location of the target that you're supposed to destroy. And again, once the objectives have been completed, you're able to extract. In top left, you can see in this specific scenario that there are 3 machines left for me to destroy. Let's go right to it.
Target found. Destroy it.
These things here. Okay, that's 1 down, 2 to go.
Bypass complete. You may proceed.
Another thing to keep in mind on corporate play missions, whenever you're playing this with more than 1 person, the door controls on each side, which were 2, they have to be pressed simultaneously for you to progress further on. On solo you only need to press 1, obviously. And that's it.
You have managed to thwart potentially dangerous discoveries from being fully realized.
Again, we head off to extraction. They have been constantly changing and improving the stages, adding little objective points. Even the elevators that were not, I think, in this specific tile set to begin with. Slowly they keep improving the game and making changes. One of those, for example, is on these trails here, like train tracks. You have to hack into specific consoles to move the train out of the way so you can progress in the stage. Little changes and modifications like that, especially in the later stages with higher levels that are the same tile set, but they are much larger. They have many more enemies. Usually there are 4 machines to destroy in each scenario rather than 3 or 2. And generally there's small little differences like that, but this is the main idea of the Sabotage mission. Next in line we have the Capture mission.
We have multiple targets of interest for this mission. Bring them all to me.
In this mission we have to find specific enemies.
Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you.
We have to kill those enemies and then you capture them in quite a rather science fictional way, where they become particles and dust and somehow they just disappear. Anyway, basically you capture your enemies and once the objective is complete, again you move on to extraction.
Their capture is crucial.
The thing with these capture missions is that your targets, once they are alerted of you or they see you in the vicinity, they start running away from you and you have to capture them before they get too far. If they are far away from you, you have 2 targets usually. You can capture one of them and still complete the mission. I'm not sure if there is some kind of penalty for capturing only one of them. And if both targets get away, then the mission is failed. That's the target mission right there. The target to be captured. Press F over it. And that's 1 out of 2 captured.
Target apprehended. Keep hunting.
We have 1 more left.
You're on the sensors now. You've been detected.
It's really fun to do this with Loki. Going invisible, they really don't notice you even going near them. See if I can creep up on the next target. There we are. No, they start running anyway.
Bring them in.
There he goes. And that's 2 out of 2. Extraction is available.
The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
Mission complete. One thing to keep in mind a lot of time with sometimes with missions is that the objectives, they can change. You might go into a mission, it might be a spy mission, and then the objective is dynamically changed and it becomes an exterminate mission. Sometimes you have assassination missions, you have to actually locate data cores instead of assassinating someone. I think the scenario is that the target might not be present. Sometimes there's Orokin artifacts, and once they are aware of them, the objective is dynamically changed. Not too common, but it does happen from time to time.
We'll interrogate the captive back at base.
Making the mission just a little bit more fun, a little bit more dynamic as well. Not as boring as just having the plain 11 missions that you go through all the time, the same ones over and over again. Moving up to the next one in line, we have the mobile defense missions.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Pretty much as the Lotus just explained, we have to take these data cores here, these data masses. Keep in mind that once you have those equipped, you can only fire with your primary weapons, your secondary weapons, sorry. Bring them to a location, drop them in, and you have to defend that location for a certain amount of time.
You've got to find a terminal. Proceed and prepare.
Very common missions for farming especially, and for ranking your characters up.
Bypass complete.
Characters, weaponry, whichever it is. Locations are shown on the map with a little yellow icon. These missions also have a fail condition. In the case that you don't manage to protect the locations, results in a fail on the mission.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a minute.
As you can see, this is the location here. To the top left we have a timer now, and it's at the moment at 1 minute and 20 seconds. Once that reaches 0, we'll move on to the next location and defend the next spot. Again, these are relatively easy. I'm playing on the first planet just to make this bearable for the video, and also as fast as possible.
Continue to defend.
Later on they become very difficult missions, all of these, on higher levels. First location defended. Pick up the data mass again, and then you move on to the next location.
I'm in, Tenno.
And again, these are different according to the maps, whether they're Grineer or Corpus ships and the rest of it, or Phobos locations and so on and so forth.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Keep in mind also that to the top left we have the shield and health
Terminal hacked.
of the location or what we are defending.
All data logs indicate that there is an Awoken artifact somewhere
That
here.
was fast.
Get to it now, defend it, and then we can leave.
In this specific mission there is a third location that you have to defend. Just clear the area out.
Artifact found. Defend it until the extraction team arrives.
It's an Orokin artifact. Like I was saying, at the top left on your heads-up display there is the shield and the health for the artifacts. He regenerates both health and shield.
It's the Grineer.
To make sure it does not reach zero.
The odds were against us, Tenno.
And that's it. Once the locations are defended, you can extract.
We've been locked out. Let's override the security.
Okay, we've been locked out. This is what I was saying before about the needing to hack into terminals. Just walk up to one of the terminals shown on your map with a little yellow icon and align the symbols with each other.
Override complete. Move on. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Moving forward after that, we have the defense missions.
Our position has been compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
In this mission, we have one location that we have to defend against different waves of enemies. The waves come in packets or groups of 5, at the end of which on each 5th group you can actually select to continue the defense mission or to extract. Commonly known as another mission that is good for farming. Whilst at the end of every 5 waves you're also rewarded with a mod, a void key, sometimes even with blueprints for warframes or for weapons. In this specific one we have the Orokin power core that we have to defend against the Grineer. Again, to the top left we have shields and health, and we have to make sure it does not reach 0 so we do not fail the mission. These call for an endless defense type of mission. You can go for even up to 30, 40, 50, 100 waves. You just keep going. Of course, the difficulty of the enemies increases every 5 waves, making it harder and more challenging every time you continue. Again, this is the first defense mission in the game, so it's pretty easy now. We also have a counter at the top left, which wave we are on. It's wave 2. Very handy to play these missions with the Loki and use his decoy to attract the fire away from the Orokin or whatever other artifact you're defending. They increase in difficulty a little bit wave by wave. Usually it's the 5th wave from the 5 that you notice a larger increase. There's a small taste of things to come for the next 5 waves. So I'm guessing you should have a little bit more of a challenge. None of it is really a challenge now, but as you can see they are a bit of a challenge. Switch to my command. And the more they come, they start to overwhelm you slowly. Making it very difficult for solo on these missions later on. And also making some Warframes a little bit not as effective, one would say, on defense missions. It's a 5th wave. I'm guessing it should be a little bit of a challenge since I'm on solo. Some Warframes are obviously a more preferable choice for defense missions, one of them especially Frost with his snow globe, which defends from enemy fire. I think that's it. Again, very good missions for collecting things, for farming. Here is where you actually select if you want to keep battling or claim. I'm used to playing this with more people, which actually gives you a counter and you can switch from claim. I was supposed to claim there and just show you what it's like to select one and then the other. Let's see if I can hold out against 10 waves. I doubt it. Don't think I'll be able to manage it past wave 7 or 8 maximum. Okay, so for when you're soloing this, careful not to press either battle or claim accidentally or by mistake. It's not the same as corporate, which gives you a timer, about a 10-15 second timer for you to pick if you're going to continue or not. Which is also helpful because you can actually see if the other players are going to continue or not. I mean, it's especially for an online game where most of them you might not know who you're playing with. They might have just had enough by the 5th wave or the 15th wave, and you should know if they're going to continue before pressing continuing as well. I mean, there's nothing worse than doing a defense mission, reaching up to something like wave 20, and then everybody claiming and leaving the mission, and you being the only one left. You end up losing a lot of the loot since the mission fails, and which most probably will fail, since soloing on the later defense missions up to wave 25 is quite a task. Okay, here's to hoping that I can pull this wave off and the next two. There's nothing worse than doing a defense mission, reaching up to something like wave 20, and then everybody claiming and leaving the mission, and you being the only one left. You end up losing a lot of the loot, since the mission fails, and which most probably will fail, since soloing on the later defense missions up to wave 25 is quite a task. Okay, here's to hoping that I can pull this wave off and the next two. Also very helpful to have a Warframe that can kill off a range of enemies with just one skill. Not entirely the strength of Loki here. The enemies are not hard, it's just that they are a lot. As you can see, shields and health regenerate. Okay, we're up to wave 10, let's see if we can pull this off. And that's it. And you select claim and exit, and you're ready for extraction.
The extraction team will take over from here. Time to evacuate.
Moving on from there, the next one is survival.
Keep the enemy busy while a fellow Tenno operative raids the ship for supplies. Ready? Trigger the alarm.
Following somewhat the idea of the defense missions, these ones here you can go for as long as you want as well. Once the first 5 minutes have been completed, you can extract at any moment, or you can keep going for as long as you want. Every 5 minutes around about the enemies increase in difficulty and become harder and harder. Also the idea behind it is that every 5 minutes you're rewarded with an extra drop, a reward in the form of a blueprint usually, or in the later levels, or just a mod or credits.
You are surrounded by Premier Marines.
With a survival mission, what you have to keep in mind is you have a life support system at the top left, and that decreases as you play. Killing enemies drops these little life support packs, these ones here, and picking those up gives you around about 5 life support each time. It replenishes 5 life support. Now the idea is to hold out as long as you can without dying, of course, all the way up to extraction, and activate these life support capsules, which give you a total of 30 life support. So usually it's advised to use those once you have gone under 70% life support, just so you don't waste them. In this mission, just like the defense missions, we don't have any console hacking or alerting the enemies and so on and so forth with control consoles. Just head right into it and hold out against as many people as you can. You're notified when a capsule is about to be received. In every couple of minutes you get an extra capsule.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Like that there. Once you activate it,
Life support has been
just increase your health and keep going. Since the inclusion of the survival missions that have become pretty much the main farming and ranking missions. Very useful for ranking up weapons and warframes, and also for a lot of items. Once your life support depletes, you start losing shields and life until they go to 0. You don't die off from it though. It just weakens you and makes you killable with one-shots. So once you're in that situation, best thing to do is just run for the extraction as fast as you can. And hope they don't kill you.
For a while. Life support incoming.
And they're really fun to play as well. Okay, we're almost reaching the 5-minute mark, which should allow us to be able to extract and also reward us with either credits or a mod.
Support capsule. Extraction is available.
There we go,
if
credits.
you need it. Our operative is making progress.
Now at this point you can just
Will
keep
help
playing
our
for as long
cause.
as you want,
Life support activated.
or extract.
Life support activated.
The longer you hold out, the better rewards you get as well. Again, making these among the most common missions for farming things. And that's pretty much it for survival.
Another job well executed.
Now, with regards to the order that the missions are revealed to the player slowly through the game, the next mission in line is actually an assassination mission. Basically, in the assassination missions, you have to fight against a boss, a different one for each planet. It's pretty self-explanatory. The conditions for victory are just simply killing the boss and then heading off to extraction. I've already uploaded all the videos for all the bosses and all the boss fights, if you want to check those out. And we'll move on to the next mission in line, which is Spy.
Find all the data units on this outpost. Valuable intel lies within.
Basically, in the spy missions, all you have to do is collect data terminals. Again, keeping in mind that once you have those equipped, you no longer use your primary weapon. Once all 4 are collected, usually 4, then you can head over to extraction. With regards to level, this is the easiest spy mission in the game, and the first one you encounter.
You've been knocked out. Let's override the security. Here is one of the access consoles. You need to activate it to recover
You
the
come to these
data
terminals
unit.
here, you hack into them. Pretty simple. Pick up the data terminal, do it 4 times, and extract. Again, you're notified on your map where the data terminals are. Again with a small yellow icon. Your objective is at the top left. Hope you're keeping track how many are left for you to collect. See if we can rush through this. Preferably unnoticed.
It should release the data unit. Get the device and get to extraction.
And the more you collect, they're indicated with
Stay away from the
those
fire.
little dots on the side of the data terminal. See, there's 2 here, and I got 2 more to collect, which will eventually show 4 on the data mass I'm holding. Another thing I forgot to mention about the Corpus ships mostly is the cameras that you have to keep in mind. When a camera detects you, you have to blow it up, and it closes you off in specific areas, creating little barriers of energy fields on doors, and also alerts enemies of your whereabouts.
Doors are locked. Time to break in.
As you can see on the data mask, that's 3 out of 4, and we have 1 left. If you die, you drop this on the floor, and when you're with cooperative play, your friends have to pick them up, or when you revive, you have to make sure to pick them up again. And to complete the mission, you have to bring all 4 to the extraction point. Usually you can't leave them behind. I've gone through some bug scenarios where I've been able to finish it without the data masses on me. Okay, here's the camera. As you can see, that's the field that he sees, and when you're visible, it goes red. It opens these little energy fields here, which damage your shields and don't allow you to continue on to the next location until you blow those up. And of course alert enemies as well. So keep in mind the cameras. Oh, some of these cameras, they also
You found an access terminal. Use it to release the data mass from its storage.
access turrets that fire at you. I'll show this with this one here. Okay, it seems bugged. You should have seen it by now. Okay, there you go. Opens those turrets here. As soon as it can't see you, it closes them up again and they fire at you. Let's just collect the last data mass and head to
All
extraction.
data units located. Let's get out of here.
That's it
work.
with
I
Spy.
am pleased with your performance. Our intel suggests that our person of interest is in the vicinity. Search for the hostage and bring him home.
Rescue missions. For rescue missions, we just have to save a target from
Keep
captivity.
moving. None of the scanners
The whole
have
idea to
detected
keep in
you.
mind behind this mission is once you have actually found the target, make sure that they stay alive, or else the mission will be forced to fail. Everything else about it is pretty simple.
There's no telling what the captors are doing to our rescue
Captives are
target.
usually in a
We need to
location
find the
that
holding
have
cell immediately.
a lot of different cell blocks, and you have to hack each one of them to find which one has the captive in it. Once locating the captive, you rescue them and escort them to extraction. One more thing to keep in mind about missions on corporate ships, or basically out in space, is to make sure you don't break these glasses here with specific weapons that have piercing damage. If you do, this happens. Your shields start to fall, and you have to find the terminal to close the windows up again. Minor thing to keep in mind.
We've reached the prison. Find our prisoner in one of these cells.
Okay, now we're at the location. Simply have to find the captive.
Located the hostage.
Once we find him, we
to the extraction point, and I'll
escort the
take care of
prisoner to
rest.
extraction.
It appears we now need to sabotage this location. Destroy the
We're notified with the blue icon,
target
same way we are with our
destroy.
allies. Oh, like I was saying before, some missions are dynamic. This one here, for example, just gave me an extra objective to destroy this. This is what the sabotage objective looks like on corporate ships.
That's it. Now get out of here.
And now we're done. Like I was saying, you can see the prisoner on your map with a blue icon, the same way that you see your allies when you're in corporate play. Just to keep track of where they are. And if you point your crosshair over them, you can see in what condition their shield and health is. So you usually don't want to run too much ahead and rush towards the end.
Doors are locked.
Sometimes you can, lock them out in specific locations. Like there on the elevator would have been a good spot to lock him out and just run further ahead of to the extraction point. It would have been a safe spot for them. And I also wouldn't have to kill through everybody as I am now. I would have just straight away rushed to the end. But it's a little bit risky because if they spawn, they usually don't, but if they do, if they spawn enemies on their location, you could fail the mission without even knowing it.
The bypass is done.
Well, we're done here.
Escort mission complete. The hostage is safe now. Let's get out of here.
And that's the rescue mission. It leaves us with 2 more missions to go through. Deception. You don't get to meet deception missions until much later on into the game. And there aren't that many of them either included from what I have noticed.
Your target is the system mainframe. Deliver the payload.
In this scenario here, usually you just take a data mass, you place it into a computer, and that's all there is to it. you head to Extraction. These are commonly the missions where the objective dynamically changes into something else as well. From my experience, it's usually these missions here, the Deception,
Is around here somewhere. Keep
that
searching for it.
either adds an extra objective or changes to Exterminate other conditions. Generally speaking, it's probably one of the simpler mission objectives in the game. You'll notice that this is a Grineer ship, but I am up against Corpus enemies. The main idea to keep in mind is that when you fight in operations from the invasions that happen from Corpus on Grineer or Grineer to Corpus, the winning faction ends up dominating that map, meaning that it changes the game dynamically according to what the player base has been actually playing all this time. See here, change of plans, ignore your original objective, leave nothing alive. It just turned into an extermination mission. So it's pretty common in these missions here, like I said before. I was expecting it. Generally what happens when you don't get a change of objectives, you just go into a terminal. You don't even need to hack into it, you just place it the same way you place those data masses on the mobile defense missions, and Extraction is available. You just head over to Extraction right after that. This just made things a little bit, well, not harder, but a little bit more time consuming for us now that it changed it to Extraction. Exterminate, sorry. Would have been on our way to Extraction by now. I was saying, according to the player base and what sides the players choose, people that play Warframe, determine if a ship is going to be from their own, populated by Corpus or Grineer enemies. There's actually some planets, Ares, especially Ares, where almost all the missions have been switched to Grineer, to the Grineer faction, even though they were all initially Corpus ships. So that's pretty neat, that's pretty handy as well. It keeps the game much more dynamic with little changes like that being added into it. Some people might prefer, for example, I prefer the Grineer, they're my favorite enemies. I much more enjoy the fact that they just have armor rather than shields. So for my liking, I probably have more Grineer running around than Corpus. And this dynamic gives the opportunity to help sway the battle in that direction. And of course, if the game becomes unbalanced, let's just say, for example, the off chance that every single ship becomes Grineer infested, the developers always see to creating events where they actually give you reason to want to fight for the Corpus. Yesterday or a couple of days ago, they had an operation where the Corpus gave you form a blueprint, which is pretty rare. I think it's becoming pretty obvious that people have been preferring the Grineer.
No further life forms detected.
So, they just interfere in those little ways, which still gives you a choice, but I think we all would prefer fighting for a formal blueprint rather than just a couple of credits. And that was the Deception mission, more or less.
Excellent work, Tenno.
Deception cross Exterminate. Heading over now to the final mission from the normal mission types. It's the new addition which has been added with a new tileset as well on Earth, and it's called Interception. Let's see if we can find the easiest one here. Level 6 to 8. I think they're pretty much the same thing. This This is a new mission that has been added of late.
These radio towers carry top-secret interplanetary communications. You are going to capture the towers and decode incoming messages.
This is the latest mission that they included with patch 12. I can pretty much explain this just with one word: domination. That's what it is. It's a domination kind of gameplay. You have 4 locations and you have to capture these locations to accumulate points. If the enemy accumulates more points than you, then you lose the opponent, which is the Grineer in this case here. You just head over to a point right here, like this, capture it, and that's
captured. Beginning stream decode now.
As you notice, they have captured A at the top, left.
You are surrounded by Grineer Marines.
Since there's conflict, when there's more than one faction type on the location, you can't capture it. Of course, just like any other domination in first-person shooter games.
This tower is ours now.
Once you capture all the points, as long as I can locate where all the points are, so I can quickly go back and forth. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. The layout's a bit.
The enemy have taken the tower. You must recapture it.
Okay, we'll drop in the knives. Come here again. Okay, we'll capture point A, I think, and point B. Head over to point C. Capture that as well. And you keep doing this until it reaches 100%.
You have captured a radio tower.
I'm guessing this should be pretty easy with 4 people. I haven't played it or co-op. I'm guessing it should be pretty easy when you're online. I mean, just have one player on each side and you're pretty much defending. It becomes a defend mission more or less after that. Okay, then moving over to point B. Captured Bravo. They've captured C, so I'll move over to C. Just like the defense missions and survival missions, this one here, once you have completed it, you have the option of continuing again and doing it from the beginning. I'm guessing that it just increases in difficulty each time. It's a cool little addition. It was about time that they had brought out a new mission type. Very handy, very effective, and this could be pretty good for PvP matches as well, actually. You know, if you want to play against other people. It's a nice competitive kind of match style. Shouldn't pay attention too much to them like I am here. You should and you shouldn't. I mean, the main objective is to just capture the point. Then you can just think about killing them off. I'm hoping that they add this as a new addition to the Void missions. It would be pretty fun to have a Void interception. Okay, alright. Once you have completed the objective, then you kill off everybody that's on the map. Indicated as icons on your heads-up display.
data is being broadcasted. Are you willing to risk going back?
And here you have selection of extracting or continuing. We'll claim an exit. Pretty much the same way as a defense mission.
Not only have we decoded the enemy transmissions, we have also disrupted their communications. You have captured.
The extra mission that I was talking about before, it's kind of like a sort of like a bonus mission. It happens when you're intercepted or attacked by the Corpus enemy Zanuka. And if you fail to kill it and it kills you, you're respawned in one of the maps on this tile set here on Jupiter, and you're spawned without any weapons on you at all or any skills at all, and you have to locate your weapons, you have to locate your skills, kill everybody off on the ship, and then extract. It's a little cool addition, and pretty much takes you out of the mission that you were in beforehand if this happens. If you succeed in killing off Zanuka, the Harvesters as they're also known, then obviously this mission doesn't take place at all. Moving on from there, alerts, like I said, are pretty much on the same lines as normal missions. This is a spy alert, exterminate alert, mobile defense alert, deception alert. More or less alerts include all the different mission types. Then we head over to operations. For operations, we have invasion and infestation. For infestation, basically, you have to play these 3 times in order for you to actually get the battle pay offer, the reward.
The enemy is at our doorstep. You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
And basically what happens, any mission can become infested, overrun by infested enemies, and this one here is in the form of a defense mission. Prior to a lot of patches, there used to be planets that had infested on them, Corpus or Grenier. It didn't make that much sense from the moment that they actually started introducing operations. I'm guessing this is going to be pretty hard for me to do it on my own. Didn't calculate it to being a defense mission. And I also didn't pay attention to the level. These are level 20 enemies, so it's going to be very difficult. I'll fail in no time. Anyway, the whole idea behind it is making the game make more sense as well. I mean, we used to have infested locations and missions, but it didn't make any sense. And from the moment that they actually added the operations and made the game much more dynamic, also allowing Grenier and Corpus to occupy each other's ships, having infested on a specific mission all the time, it kind of didn't make any sense. Since you probably would guess that there are something that both Grenier and Corpus would want to take care of and exterminate. So this is the case. They changed the infested missions and added them as operations, meaning any kind of mission can become occupied by infested enemies. All you have to do is collectively with everybody else online play it enough times so the infestation actually stops and doesn't keep spreading as well. Again, it's adding to the dynamic event system of Warframe, making it much more enjoyable as well and versatile. I'm surprised I've actually... I'll let the shields recharge before I kill off the last enemy. I'm actually surprised I was able to take care of 2 waves here. Solo and level 20. Let's hope we can go up to wave 5 and finish this off. I was lucky here. As you can see, the enemy is stuck behind a rock, which gives me enough time not to finish the wave off and allow the Orokin Power Core to regenerate the health. Usually you want to play operations with other people. You just leave it online, the option, and just head in and join other people as well.
Extraction is ready.
I was pretty lucky.
You can handle more of the enemy. We're done here. The extraction team will take over from here. Time to evacuate.
And the last mission type are the invasions. For the invasions, you have to select a side, whether it be Corpus or Grineer. Let's see these maps here. They have been infested with Grineer. I think I'll fight with the Corpus just for the sake of balancing it out. I don't know what everybody else is fighting on. You have to complete these 5 times, so each play accumulates to 1, just like the operation for Infestation. As you can see now on the Infestation here, once I click on it, I have 1 out of 3 completed. Completing it 3 times will give me this reward at the end of 30,000 credits. There's really no selection on these missions here. You just go in and play them 3 times. There is no side to pick. And I'll try this on solo as well. Don't know if I can manage, but we'll see how we go.
You are fighting with the Corpus in this battle. No Grineer can be left alive. Stay away from
the wonderful thing about these missions here is also how they are a union in terms of tilesets and maps of both Grineer and Corpus. Both Grineer and Corpus maps and tilesets. Basically, I don't know if this one is one of them, but you'll find a lot of missions on the operations, on the invasion operations, where you head through a broken part of the ship and you head on to the other part of the ship that has invaded them, and they have added some pretty cool map designs to portray that. It's very nicely done. They have taken care into making it make a lot of sense as well. As long as I keep disappearing, I think I should be able to handle this mission by myself. And as you've noticed, Corpus are on my side. What's good about these missions is also an opportunity, if you want to scan things, to use your allies as scanning material. So you can unlock extra details on each enemy type in your codex. So this part here of the map is completely unique to the operation. Like I was saying before, they have added not just one but a few variations in how these map designs are created to suit the mission's purpose. Got another 60 of these clowns to kill. don't know if it's a bug or not, but I'm feeling that the jumping mobility of Loki with melee is a little bit off when he is invisible. I sense that he's just doing whatever he wants. And he is a little bit unresponsive.
All of the Grenier are dead.
And that's it.
Proceed to extraction.
As you can see, we started on a Corpus ship and now we're on a Grenier ship. And I have other cool ways of depicting the same thing as well in other operations.
Another job well executed.
That's more or less all the basics for what you need to know on the missions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep in touch for more videos coming out soon, and if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe.